Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time I'm going to be doing a full set of acrylic nails using all acrylic, no polish. So of course the first thing that I'm doing is going in with a cuticle pusher. That's the first thing that you're going to need. You can use a metal one, a plastic one, whatever you want to use, as long as it can be disinfected or disposed of. Next, I'm going in with the 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. Again, that is a 180 sanding band. And the drill that I'm using is the Melody Susie Scarlet nail drill. And this one, I'll be sure to leave the link down below. And I've been using it for a while and I have no issues with it at all. So I highly recommend it. So remember that whenever we are removing the shine from the natural nail, we want to make sure that we get all around that cuticle area really good. And then of course removing the shine from the rest of the nail. Now this is going to be one of the most important steps, because if you miss any when you're filing, if you miss any spots and you leave it like that, you will get lifting, because our body produces a lot of oils. Those oils happen to be on our natural nails, which is why they're naturally shiny. So we're just going in and removing that shine. Again, that is a 180 sanding band, and the sanding bands I just get on Amazon, if you just type in 180 sanding bands, is usually like the first ones that pop up, and it's about 100 of them for $6. And remember, you want to switch out your sanding bands after each client. So after we do that, we're going to go in and dust the nails off, and then we're going to go in and apply the nail tips. So I'm going to use my natural nail tips. I'm going to be doing colored acrylic. So usually the only time that I use like the clear nails, a lot of the time it's like whichever ones I pick up first, I guess, as far as like the clear and the natural. But it really doesn't matter. Like if you're going to be applying polish over the nails, then you can do just the natural. But when you have to use the clear ones, is really when you're doing like something that incorporates clear in it, to where you're going to be able to like see the actual clear, or you guys know what I'm saying, so that's when you would use clear. But other than that, it really doesn't matter. You could even use the clear if you just don't mind and you want to do polish over them. It doesn't matter what tips you use. But I'm just using the natural ones, and we're just applying the nails with the KDS nail glue. Remember that when you are applying your nail tips, you want to make sure that they fit on the nail perfectly. That way it doesn't make your client's nail look super wide. And as you can see, one, like for the thumb especially, one tip was too big and then the other one was a little bit too small. So I'm going in with the one that was a little bit bigger and followed it down on the sides to make it fit perfectly. So that's what you always want to do. Again, let me repeat that again, because that's really important. If you're applying the nail tips and like say the number 5 is too big, and then the number 6 is too small, or I should say that the other way. If the number 5 is too big, am I saying that right? You guys know what I'm saying. But if one's too big, one's too small, just go with the one that's a little bit bigger and follow it down on the sides just a little bit to make it fit perfectly. And then just apply the glue and apply the nail on the nail bed. And then of course, making sure that when you're applying the nail tips, you hold your finger really straight. That way you don't apply the nails on crooked. And if you do, then of course just remove it and then reapply another tip. And then after this, we're going to leave the nails this length. So I'm just going to go in and shape them up. Alrighty, so to shape the nails, I'm using a 100 nail file. And as always, we just file the sides and the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle. And as you can see, these nail tips, they kind of already look like they're coffin-ish. So I just go in and redefine that shape just to make them a little bit more narrow, of course, and then blending the nail tip right in the middle. So again, that's a 100 nail file, following the sides and the free edge at a 90-degree angle. Make sure that you also watch your shape while you're doing this. That way you don't overfile and you know exactly where you need to file, what side you need to file. So we're going to do this on all of the nails, and then we will move on to the next step. Alrighty, so we're almost done shaping up the nails, and then after this we're just gonna dust the nails off, and then we're gonna go in with the primer, and I'm using the JC Beauty Concepts primer. As you guys know, I recommend you just go ahead and use the primer that you know, just matches your acrylic system, I guess I could say, because lifting will come from a number of things, not just your primer. But as you can see, we're just applying this on the natural nail, and then I'm going in with the JC Beauty Concepts Soft Peach, and then we're going to use that as a base, and then we are going to be using some bright neon colors as well. And as always, whenever you're working with colored acrylic, remember that that is only, you know, just for the color, but you build your apex with, like, we could build the apex with this one because this is a core color. So if I wanted to, I can just apply this over the entire nail and I'll be fine. But since I'm just using this as a base, we're gonna go in with the colored acrylic afterwards, again just for the color, and then we're actually gonna build our apex and the thickness at the tip with the clear. That way our nails do not break or bend or whatever the case may be. But as you can see, I'm just going in with just a little bit of acrylic, the colored acrylic, and I'm just applying that on the side just randomly, going, you know, on the side of the nail. We're gonna do that for the next finger as well, and then some are gonna be like this hand. We used the picture for inspiration, or she just showed me a picture and that's how I did this hand, and then the other one she told me to just do something different. So the next hand I kind of just freestyled or whatever. But as you can see, after we apply the colored acrylic, I'm just going in with the clear, applying it over the entire nail, making sure that I brush it down really nice and even, that way we don't have any bumps and lumps. Again, I am using the JC Beauty Concepts. As you guys know, I recently switched from using Mia's Secret to using this brand, and I absolutely love it. I also want to mention that you guys know that my channel is geared towards beginners. So yes, there are a lot of acrylic brands that are good, you know, but they're a little bit more expensive. So I like to, you know, not necessarily advertise, but just recommend brands that I know are good and affordable, because as a beginner, you don't have all of the money in the world. You're still learning. You're still trying to make money. You're still trying to, you know, save up money to buy products. So I'm going to recommend things that again are affordable and are beginner friendly. So yes, young No is good. Yes, Valentino is good. Yes, you know, all these other brands are good, but you know, they're a lot more expensive. And again, as beginners, you don't want to go in spending that much money, because you want to make sure that you first focus on your foundation. That way you're not spending all this money on products and then the nails fall off, you know, within a few days. So again, I don't talk down on any brands or anything, but again, my channel is beginner friendly, so I recommend products that are beginner friendly. JC Beauty Concepts is for beginners, for professionals, for anybody. It's really affordable. It is really high quality, so I recommend it to anyone. It just happens to be the brand that I'm working with right now that I really like, that I've switched again from using Mia's Secret to this, and I absolutely love it, and I'll be sticking with this system for as long as I need to. I have no complaints at all whatsoever. It makes my job so much easier because it literally goes on like butter. It's so smooth, and then it keeps its shape, which means it's not as runny. That's a problem that I was having with Mia's Secret. Don't get me wrong, if you're using it and you're able to make it work, that's completely fine, because for the longest I was able to make it work by adding a few drops of acetone to my Mia's Secret monomer, and it was, you know, helping it dry a little bit faster. But I just got tired of doing that, and I wanted to find a brand that I didn't have to do that each time. So you know, if you're still using it, by all means go ahead. You know, it was a good brand for me. I used it for a while, but that's the only thing that, you know, bothered me, especially since you know, been doing nails for so long. It was just not drying fast enough for me, so it was getting a little irritating. But anyways, as you can see, for the pinky, we just did all of the colors on that one, so full nail. And then on this middle finger, we're doing the same thing that we did on the ring finger. I think for the thumb, I can't remember, but you'll see me doing it. But again, I am using the soft peach, which is super pretty. As you guys know, I had been using the Cover blush for a while now. or really often, but this one is really similar to it but just lighter, and it's such a soft color, and it just goes so well on the nails. But as you can see, we're just going in and encapsulating that, making sure that we build our apex and the thickness at the tip. As always, make sure that you look at your nail from different angles, that way you know exactly where you need to add more product, and that way you're not just adding acrylic. And then also another thing that I wanted to mention is, as a beginner, I know I get a lot of questions about like, how do you become faster at doing nails? And honestly, there's not really anything that I can just say like, okay, do this and you're gonna get faster. It's just a matter of practicing and, you know, organization as well, having everything on hand, that way you don't have to get up and go get this and get up and go look for this other thing. You know, having everything right there at reach is gonna help with timing as well. Another thing is just repetition. You know, after you do something so many times, you don't have to sit there and think like, okay, what's next, because that takes time. You know, that takes up time from, you know, you working. So after you do it so many times, you're just gonna memorize the process and you're gonna know exactly what's next. And then also, you know, just applying the acrylic, having a certain technique, whether it's a 3-ball method, 4-ball method, whatever the case may be, you know, just having a certain technique helps as well, because then you're not just sitting and just randomly adding and not really knowing, you know, when you have enough. But you know, like I always say, you have to look at the nail from the sides and the fringe to make sure that you have a nice apex, and that's how you know that of course you have enough acrylic. But I'm gonna go ahead and just let you guys watch. As you can see, I did the same thing that I did on the pinky for this index finger, and I'm just going in and encapsulating this with the JC Beauty Concepts Clear. Of course, I do have a promo code for them, so I'll be sure to leave that down below. Sorry, and then I also forgot to mention that, as always, or not as always, but as you guys seen recently, I also started using the JC Beauty Concepts acrylic brush, and I really like it. It's just so pretty. I love the rose gold, and then as I mentioned in my other videos, I love the little grip that it has right there in the middle. I'm sure you guys can see it. It's just like little black rubber bands. It just fits so comfortably in my hand. This one is actually the number 12, but I'll be sure to leave the link down below for you guys, as well as the promo code. Okay, y'all, so we finished that first hand. So now for this other hand, we're gonna do something really similar, but I am gonna switch it up. So on the ring finger and then on the thumb, I'm gonna do like the same marble effect kind of, but doing it like a ombre. So we're gonna use the soft peach at the back, and then for the pinky we're gonna do the same thing that we did on the middle finger and I think the ring finger of the other hand, which was like the soft peach on the entire nail and then the colors on the side. And then on the index finger, I'm gonna be doing just a full nail with the marble. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys watch, and then I'll be back. And then also another thing that I wanted to mention is that you want to make sure that when you're working with I mean, really not necessarily just colored acrylic, but when you're doing acrylic period, you want to make sure that you're using good paper towels. I use the Viva paper towels and they work really good for me because they're really soft and they suck in all of that liquid and the powder, as you can see on the paper towel there. If you don't use good ones, the product is gonna get stuck to your brush, because trust me, one day I ran out of the Viva paper towels and I was using like some little cheap kind, and it was not the same. The product kept getting stuck to my brush. I kept having to stop and soak my brush into brush cleaner. I would have to switch brushes. So make sure that you're using good paper towels, and I'll be sure to leave a picture of the ones that I'm using here because I know they have different kinds. Alrighty, so now I'm going in with the same 100 nail file that we used at the beginning to shape the nails. And this time we're just going to go in and redefine the shape. So as you guys know that after we apply the acrylic, it kind of takes away from the shape a little bit. It kind of rounds off the corners. So we just have to go in and make sure that we perfect the shape. That way it's like a perfect coffin. So after we finish doing this, we're going to go in and file all of the nails with the e-file. Alrighty, so now we're going in with the fine ceramic drill bit and we're going to file all of the nails. So of course going around the cuticle area first, going from the right side all the way over to the left side, going back and forth until you're able to see where the natural nail is, or really where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that the acrylic is not on the skin. So make sure that you are watching for that, because if not, most likely you will get lifting. And y'all, this is one of the most important steps in not getting lifting, because sometimes you feel like you're doing this step correctly but you're not. So make sure that you pay attention and that you look for those three things. I know at first, like, I thought I was doing it right, but I just wasn't paying like close enough attention, so I would get lifting here and there. And then before that, I know when I first started, like, lifting for me was so bad that it was so irritating to the point where I wanted to give up. But trust me guys, this is something that we all go through. You know, now being able to look back and look at, or like, you know, now when my clients come back, I think I posted a picture just yesterday of like one of my clients that had her nails on for 6 weeks and none of her nails had any lifting at all. So it's such a good feeling, but it took a lot of hard work to get to that point. But if you just, again, focus around this cuticle area, make sure that you look at it to make sure that it's all nice and sealed, you know, you're gonna be good. But you know, even then, like, you still have to practice a lot, making sure that, you know, you get around there really good. And then also another thing is, I used to be scared. I didn't want to cut anyone with the drill. So if you need to slow it down, like, I'm using it at 5,000 RPM, so it's pretty slow. But you know, if you need to change it, that is completely fine. Just use it at whatever speed you feel comfortable using it at. So after I finish filing the nails, I'm going in with a buffer, and we're just going to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nails from the hand file or the e-file. So make sure that you buff them really good. That way you're not able to see any of the scratches through your polish. Okay, so now I'm just going in and wiping the nails off after I dust them off. And then I'm going in with the JC Beauty Concepts Gel Top Coat, and we're going to apply that on all of the nails. And then we're going to cure each hand for 60 seconds. Alrighty y'all, so here is the final look. As you can see, they turned out really pretty, really nice and clean and bright and summery. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNailDirty2, and I will see you guys next time.